Hello friends, today we'll discuss about the central dogma. Central dogma is also called as the genetic information of life. And genetic information flow, we will understand today how genetic information flow in one direction from DNA to RNA and then RNA to protein. You can see in this picture DNA can flow. DNA can give rise to RNA, RNA can give rise to protein, and we'll see DNA give rise to RNA and RNA give rise to proteins. This is not possible that every time DNA give rise to proteins or DNA give rise to RNA. So DNA to DNA formation is called as the replication, as you can see here, and DNA to RNA formation is called as the transcription, while DNA to protein formation is called as the translation. Why DNA to DNA formation is essential? Because DNA is called as the blueprint of life. DNA is the stores all the genetic information. So that's why this is called as the replication, and this is essential where all the information over the DNA is copied into the new DNA strand, and the main DNA strand is called as the template strand, while daughter strand is the containing all the information similar to the DNA. So central dogma, what do you mean by central dogma? Central dogma states that genetic information flows in one direction from DNA to RNA and RNA to proteins. And if we can say in the expressional language, the replication, then transcription and translation, these are the three processes involved basically in the whole central dogma. So if you'll see, DNA is the double strand structure, RNA is the single strand structure, and the RNA polymerase is involved in the transcription process. And while this transcription, mRNA is formed. mRNA is the single stranded, those contain only the relevant information that is called as the exons. You can see here in the pictures only exons are appearing, introns are not appearing, which is a part of every eukaryotic DNA. There are some junk DNA, there are some intervening sequences that is present between the exons, and they must be removed before DNA passes information into the mRNA. And then what happens after the mRNA? And this DNA coats mRNA, and then mRNA forms amino acids. These amino acids combine to form the bloods, and which is the protein. So how protein is formed? The protein is a kind of expression of the cells. Many proteins are there. If you see, proteins are in the form of enzymes, cellular proteins, hairs are there, nails, keratin, blood, defense protein, all are various kind of protein. Different kind of proteins are there, which is formed whenever this mRNA is translated into the proteins. And what is the linkage between DNA, mRNA and protein? We can understand by giving the analogy to the books. Okay, if you know the books, you are reading the books daily and you are turning the pages, and the complete pages contain many paragraphs, and every paragraph contains some sentences, and these sentences are formed from the words, and these words can be created by the alphabets. Similarly, you can see that the chromosome is the larger part of these information, and these chromosomes are wrapped up in a very complex way, and whenever these chromosomes are getting open up, these open up in the form of long strand of double helical strand called as the DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. And if you're talking about the DNA, the small segment of DNA, you can see here, small segment of DNA, this is called as gene, right? So chromosome is the larger portion, then chromosome will open up in the DNA, and then DNA open up into the small segment called as the gene. And if you want to understand more about what is the relation between this, so you can understand DNA decodes those information in the form of short strand called as the mRNA, and these mRNA then enters into the ribosomes, and these ribosomes are decoding all those information in the form of genetic codes into the different kind of structures, and these amino acids carried by the tRNA, and this tRNA is very, very important for tRNA, and ribosome is very important for the translating those information that is present over the mRNA into the form of some kind of visible expressions called as the proteins, right? And so in this way you can understand this, how the information flow from DNA to mRNA, and then mRNA to amino acids, and these amino acids combine to form certain kind of expression proteins, and and that's why we should know about the processes. We should know about the some enzymes. You will see that whole DNA unwinds. DNA is a double-stranded helical structure, as I have said, and these DNA double helical structure open up by the help of enzyme RNA polymerase, and these RNA polymerase attach themselves to the coding sequence from where the mRNA is copied, mRNA is formed, and it means via the transcription process all these genetic code is copied in the form of mRNA transcript, right? So these mRNA transcript is going to a ribosome. Inside the ribosome there is a translation process, so we can summarize the complete central dogma in the three form: application, transcription and translation. The three processes there. And if you will talk about RNA are of three type: ribose, nucleic acid, tRNA, mRNA and ribosomal RNA. These are the different places where all this information, all these processes are carried out. Basically every nucleated cells contain chromosome. Chromosome open up in the form of long strand of double helical structure DNA, and then single stranded mRNA is formed by the process of transcription. And then you can see here the transcription where RNA polymerase is basically involved, while in the replication DNA polymerase is involved. You can see here in the picture DNA polymerase is involved in the replication. In the transcription RNA polymerase is involved. Different kind of enzymes are involved in the processes. That's why they are completing this process and called as the central dogma of life. And since RNA is genetic, RNA stores genetic information, some kind of viruses, so retroviruses, so they are always possible RNA to RNA formation, or sometime with the help of reverse transcriptase these RNA can be developed into the form of DNA. So that's why this cycles completes. DNA forms RNA and RNA forms proteins. Thank you all for watching and listening.